Good morning, guys. It is Thursday the 14th of November today. We're whizzing through Q4 and approaching Christmas pretty quickly, which is one of my favorite times of the year. So I hope you're on track for your goals. And if you are, let me know in the comments below and let me know what your goals are. Actually, it'll be quite interesting to see what you guys do. It's also 3 months since my son was born today. So that's been an immense joy, but also if you're a parent, a lot of struggle and frustration at the same time, but I wouldn't change it for anything. This week on the charts has been quite frustrating also. I didn't get any trades on Monday. Tuesday I took a loss which I could have prevented. I lost a read on the price action completely. I had got into a short that was just taking ages to break down, so I moved my stop, got tagged on that, and then typically it ended up being right. So had I not done that, I would have got a nice win, which I'll put on the screen now so you can see the error of my ways. Yesterday, no trades, and here we are today. So hopefully I get something. Hopefully I can make this vlog a little bit more interesting than the previous two in terms of getting a live trade. It will also be really good for my trading accounts because over the past few weeks it's been pretty barren for me. I haven't had too many wins. I've had a lot of break evens, avoided full losses. So in a period of a bit of instability in my personal life, it's been okay in the sense that I haven't suffered any major losses. But if you've got goals you're struggling to hit and you've got a period of stagnation, it's quite frustrating. It's always tapping away at the back of your mind. I feel like by the end of the month things will be good. I'm feeling really good in what I'm doing. I'm feeling really good with my trade process, with my entry technique, and just basically being sharp with what I'm doing. My mindset is actually really good despite everything that's happened recently. So yeah, let's see what happens. I'll take you along for that. If I don't get any trades, I'll jump on the simulator afterwards like I did on the last vlog, and then I'll show you a winning trade anyway, and it's part of my daily routine as it happens. So whatever the case, there will be a trade win in this vlog. So let's jump on the charts, and if I get into a trade, we can talk about it afterwards. If I don't, we'll also talk about it. Okay, let's see what happens. So what we have here is an area of demand and an area of supply. These are two places I'm looking to get involved in when price interacts with it. And as you can see, price kind of hits the supply zone and then ranges a little bit, and I'm not too sure what it wants to do at this point. And then next, a drop down into that demand zone, and it gets broken and heads down towards that big low at the bottom. This is now a pretty clear trend for me. What we can see next is a range forms. We've got the range high and the range low. And then what I want to see is a couple of breaks from the low, and then I'm looking to enter. So first of all, we have a fake out of that. So it breaks down below the range low and then pushes back up into it, and then takes the high of the range, and then that's a second fake out, because as we can see, it then drops back down below the range low. This for me says it wants to continue heading south. So on another confirmation of that break of the low, I enter at market with a stop above the fake out high. And then this for me starts running quite nicely from here. So I put a TP at about 2R. Price moves down quite nicely at this point, pushes back up to test the range low really nicely actually. It's a good SR flip. And then at the lows again, I just trailed my stop to the previous high because I'm running on the idea that a higher high should mean a push up and a push for my stop loss. And this is just to reduce the losses, but it doesn't, and then it drops back down to the low. I've trailed my stop once again. We get a push up, it fails and starts pushing back down, so I've trailed my stop, and then as you can see, it drops really nicely from here onto my TP and for 2R for the day. Okay, so a nice win. I took 2R on my public account, which is what I'm going to talk about here, which is with Darwin X. That's who I'm trading with at the moment. I've also got that connected to 150K in funding with FTMO and my funded FX. That's 150K spread over those two firms. So I also have a personal account, which I trade completely separately. And on that account, I ended up running that for 3.4R. It just kind of goes to show how your brain can be affected and your mind can be affected by having a public outlet or having a little bit more on the line with one of these funded firms. I move my stop loss a little bit more. I get a little bit more tetchy. Not normally, but considering the past couple of months where I haven't had many wins and I haven't been able to get to the charts 4 or 5 days a week as I normally do, it's kind of affected me a little bit. So that's quite an interesting thing. Maybe we can talk about that later on my walk. But yeah, just happy to have that done. And as you can see from the trade, there are multiple times I can get in, but I just wait for that confirmation. I'll wait for a breakdown or a push up in price, get that trend confirmed, look for a bit of consolidation, and then I just look for a breakout in the direction of the initial move. So in this case, it was a short move. We had that really big candle that took out a big low. And then as soon as it ranged, took a couple of fake outs. And then once that second fake out showed that it had no juice in it and it just dropped back down below that range, it was a really clear and obvious way for me to get into the market. And in this instance, it paid off. In other instances, it hasn't over the past couple of weeks, where I've had that happen, but then price, instead of dropping down nicely as it did, it would just go sideways. So feeling good about that. That's about 5.1% up on my public account over the past couple of months. I know I can do better, and I'm a bit of a victim of circumstance, but doesn't matter. It is what it is. So I'm going to continue with my normal routine. First of all, it is time for breakfast, and then do a bit of reading, get down to the gym, go for a walk, and then just do my usual mindful stuff, and then chill this evening. And I'll just show you what I do as in other episodes. So if you've got any questions on the trade, let me know below. If you took that trade or a similar trade on GU, then I'd be interested to hear that. But yeah, let's just crack on with the rest of the day now. Peanut. Today I just want to talk about what I touched upon earlier with regards to trading funded accounts and public accounts versus a more traditional trading account and approach with a broker and your own money. With that, you can obviously hide when you go on tilt and you have bad trading habits, and you can keep them to yourself. With funded accounts and a public account, which I'm trying to build over the next couple of years with Darwin X0, you have to be a little bit more careful about your trading, particularly because you know it's going to be under scrutiny when you put it out to people. So I will do that when I'm ready. But the thing that is kind of bothering me at the moment with my trading is that obviously I've not been in a consistent way with it because of life events, but I haven't been able to get winners that I haven't had the patience for. I haven't had the right mindset to hold on to things. Like that trade the other day, there was no reason for me to move my stop loss that early, other than I was a little bit rusty and my mindset wasn't correct. Today, got a nice win, but with my private account today, I got a bigger win, and that's because I was able to let it run a little bit more due to the fact that I knew nobody was looking at it. With the Darwin X account, the public account that I'm trying to build, I hadn't had a win on that for I don't remember the last time I had a win on it, to be honest. That was more than 1R. And when I saw that I was over 2R up, I just wanted to move my stop loss. I wanted to trail my stop a little bit quicker, just in case. And it has helped me. I have done it logically over the past few trades, but this week, I think because of the loss I took the other day, I've been a little bit skittish with it. And today, I pulled it off. I had high conviction in that trade and it moved really nicely, whereas other trades I've been in over the past few weeks haven't moved as nicely, and that's partly because of the news and the election and just the general time of year that this happens in. I feel good now I've had it. It feels like a bit of a weight off of my shoulder. Normally I'm very good with trailing my stops correctly, and my entries I'm really happy with. I'm really on point with them, I feel. But because I haven't had a win on that account for a period of time, I just wanted to get that next win out of the way, and I feel like it's out of the way now. It gets to you after you've taken 5 or 6 logical trades and you move your stop loss as a trading stop, as I do, as a system I've built over the past few years. I've followed it all correctly, and some days it has punished me and I have missed out on a win, but some days I've missed out on a loss. It's just part and parcel of, not being able to have the right information at the time, the right mindset, but it's there for a reason. I've built it there for a reason. And because of that, after you get 5 or 6 trades without a good solid 2.5 hour win, it does start playing on your mind a little bit. And the only way to get through that is just to keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. I did that today. I actually trailed my stops logically. I had a moment where I wanted to move to break even, but when it hit that little SR flip at the bottom of the range, and dropped, that's when I should move it correctly, because I always have to allow one retest of my entry. On other days, I've moved it a little bit too early and would have missed that entire move. With my private account, I had no worries with that. I actually increased the risk. I moved the stop loss a little bit higher. I entered a little bit earlier. My conviction was high with it, but I actually shouldn't have done that. But you know, it is what it is. After the past couple of months for me, it feels good to be able to get that win now, and I think I can push on. Maybe you can relate to this with your own trading, where you've gone a period of time without a win, you've had a losing period, and this is really why I stay on top of things with backtesting every day and getting a win every single day on that when I don't have a win on the live market, just so I don't get too despondent, just so that I don't fall into a negative mindset, because it's really easy to do that, particularly when you haven't had a win for a while. So that's out of the way now. The only way you can really build patience for that is by developing a system that you trust. And you can only trust a system when you've had enough reps with that system. And the way you can stay on top of your mind is by doing all these habits, which I've been showing you in these videos, by coming out to walk to clear your mind, by doing some back testing so you get a bit more perspective on what you're doing. Journaling your trades is a really big thing, of course, so you can review what you're doing. And one thing which is actually really helping me now, if you've read the book One Good Trade, Mike Belafore, he talks about one of the traders he had in his fund who used to record his sessions and then review the videos afterwards. By doing that for this video series that I'm doing, I'm actually finding that my habits are improving. I'm finding that being able to actually see my behaviors on the screen after the fact is giving me pause for thought when I'm trading the live market. So that's something you might be able to add to your own game as well. But it is an accidental improvement to my system by just doing this YouTube channel. So quite happy with that. But yeah, anyway, if you're going through a tough period of your trading, all you have to do is just keep going forward. Just make sure you're doing the right things and reviewing yourself to make sure you're actually doing those right things. Because those times when, you know, you might jump into a trade a little bit too early, or you're thinking, oh, it doesn't meet my rules, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to get a win and it looks like it's going to run without me, and it loses, you might not record that because you're like, well, it was a gamble anyway and it didn't pay off, but it wasn't a real trade, so I'm not gonna put that in the journal. I know you've probably got that because I've got those, or I've had those in the past. So those little things, you just got to track everything. Data is so important for everything you do in your life, even tracking your steps when you come out for a walk. So if you are going through a tough period, just know it does get better, but you have to pull your own socks up. No one else is going to save you, and you have to make sure you're doing the right things. Doing little habits like I've been preaching on this channel to improve your mindset, to improve your consistency, and really just to get some perspective, and even just take a step back. Even having a week off of your trading might help, because it just lets the dust settle in your head. So yeah, just keep going basically. Anyway, it's starting to really rain now and it's getting a little bit dark. I'm going to finish this walk, get home, get into the warm, and then chill this evening. All right. Whew.
Oh yes.
Watch his other Netflix series. I know what the next sentence he's going to say is. I will always watch new content from there. I love to go.
How can we explain why some civilizations flourish and expand while others stagnate?
Always makes things more fun.
Oh. 30% of the way there.
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Internet.